Good evening, Chair Espinoza. It is 5:30. All commissioners are present.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome to the City of Springfield License Commission meeting. Today is November 8th, 2023. We can start the meeting at 5:31 p.m. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the Springfield Board License Commission hearing held on Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. Did the commissioners have an opportunity to review the minutes?
Yes.
Any corrections?
No.
Just needed? No.
No.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes for the Springfield Board License Commissioners hearing held on Wednesday, October 25th, 2023.
Second.
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio? You're muted.
Yes.
Perfect.
Oopsie.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay, first petition is a petition for a new annual beer and wine package store license for AG&J LLC DBA Crossroads Convenience Store and Creamery located at 567 Main Street, Indian Orchard. Jenna Stewart's the manager of record. Jenna, you are muted. We can't hear you. Can you hear us, Jenna? We can't hear you. No problem. This is where sign language comes in handy.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Oh, good, good, good.
Hi, Jenna. How are you?
Hi. Thank you. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So Jenna, what can you tell us about your petition?
So like you said, it's at 567 Main Street in Indian Orchard. It's a little convenience store, and we'd like to, start offering beer and wine. I've reached out to the abutters. I haven't heard back from them yet. I'm going to the town council meeting today at 6, hopefully. And I haven't had any disputes about from the neighbors about the beer and wine.
Okay. Okay. Where exactly is 567? Is that near the plaza?
No, a little bit further down. It's right at the intersection before you go onto the Ludlow Bridge. It's where the old Regal Beagle used to be.
Okay.
Right next to Husky Pizza.
Okay. Okay. So Jenna, have you been the manager of record before?
I own another convenience store in West Warren, and I have been the manager of that store. However, I am switching managers, and that will be my mother at that store. I've already submitted the paperwork, so I will be the manager of records at this store.
Okay. And where do you live?
I live right on Stony Hill Road in Wilbraham.
Okay. So Jenna, is this going to be your full-time job?
Yes.
Okay. How many people, employees are you planning on having?
Well, myself, and I have one other person at the moment. Our hours are just 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. and we split the shifts. We split the day, excuse me.
Okay. And is this person, are you tip certified?
No.
You're not.
What is, well, maybe, what is that?
The tip certification where you take some courses online that teaches you the do's and don'ts being the manager of record. selling
Oh, okay.
alcohol and stuff.
Selling to
I-
minors and identifying false IDs and that kind of thing.
Oh, I have had that before. I've had training for my other store, but I don't have any certifications for that. But if that's something I need to do, I definitely will do that.
Right, yes, we recommend that you, do look into it. So
Okay.
tip certification and, that you and your other employee or anybody that's gonna be handling any of the, beer or wine, is tip certified,
Okay.
okay?
And they print a
Oh.
certificate at the end of the course.
Okay. All right.
And you have to
I will
keep those renewed.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think it
definitely will do
expires
that.
every 2 years, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
every
Okay.
2 years, so you would have to renew it every 2 years or as long as, they're good for, right before they expire. And then like Commissioner Singletore said, you copy it and you keep it at the
Yes.
store at all times in
Okay.
case the police comes in, one of the commissioners, someone comes in and asks to see, these certifications, you do have them at the store, like I said, for yourself and your employees.
Okay. Definitely.
Okay. Okay, you did give me your hours. Anybody has any questions for Jenna?
Well, you're gonna, if hopefully there will never be a selling to minors violation. But if there is, we're gonna wanna see the tip certification to make sure
Okay.
that employee was actually trained and has a current certificate. So you're gonna keep a copy of that on file. Where is your other
Okay.
store? Located?
West Warren,
Oh.
Warren, which is on the other side of Palmer.
Oh, and they don't require that in West Warren?
No.
It's the course is I believe online. You can get it a link from your liquor distributor.
Okay.
Mhm.
I will
Okay.
definitely get onto that.
Okay, Jenna, so I do have to inform you that if in the event that alcohol, beer, wine is sold to anyone underage, that, you will have to come in front of this board and talk to us about the incident.
Okay.
And you don't want to do that. You don't want to
Okay.
have to do that, okay?
Okay.
So, with that being said, you do realize that this is a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
And, do you take that full responsibility that if anything happens in the store, you are responsible whether you're there or not? Even
Yes.
if your other employee is there and that other employee sells, you're the one that's responsible for that sale.
Yes. Yep. I
Okay.
fully understand that.
Okay. And you said that you're gonna be meeting with the council
At 6 o'clock today. Yes.
6 o'clock today. Okay. I'm sure they'll send us a letter.
Okay.
So, any other questions from the commissioners? No?
No,
Okay. Then I make a motion to approve the petition for a new annual beer and wine package store license for A&G and J LLC DBA Crossroads Convenience Store and Creamery located at 567 Main Street, Indian Orchard. Jenna C. Stewart's manager of record.
second,
Commissioner Cade?
Yes,
Sorry.
yes.
Okay. Commissioner Singletore?
yes,
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio?
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Good luck. And
Thank
we
you very
hope-
much.
We hope not to see you back here.
I agree. I agree. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
And
You
I-
too.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
okay. Next item is a request for an extension of liquor license hours from closing time at 11:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. on November 17 for Mesa Buffet, LLC DBA Mesa Buffet, located at 1301 Liberty Street. Candy Cedeno, manager of record.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hi,
Hi.
Candy, how are you?
Good.
So, you're having an event, is what I understand, right?
Yes.
Okay, and your hours right now, your closing hours are 11:30 p.m.
Yes.
But for this particular event, what type of event are you having?
So it's going to be our 6-year anniversary since we opened, and we're trying. The purpose of the event is kind of to remind people that we're there, because as I'm sure you guys know, it's been a really rough. This past year specifically, it's been really rough for us. So we're going to have an all-day event where we're going to be having sales for our customers, activities. Towards the evening, we wanted to have more like an adult event where we're gonna have a band. We didn't want to have, any kids after 9 p.m. just because, like I said, it will be more like an adult thing. But the purpose really of the event is to bring in some extra revenue and just kind of put our name back out there again.
Okay. Do you have an entertainment license right now?
Yes.
You do. Okay, perfect. Any questions from the commissioners?
Do you need an extension to you're offering entertainment up until 2 a.m.?
So, that's a good question. I believe that I might need an extension for that because we've never stayed open past the time, that we have the license to. So I believe that the
You would
entertainment,
need to apply to stay open that late for an entertainment extension. So that is something we would have to apply through the mayor's office to get that granted. So you would need that to continue having entertainment that late, a late night license.
well, yeah, for this time, I wanted to do it just on the 17th, but we are thinking about possibly doing it, depending on like how it goes in that event, and like seeing the profits that we might have from it. We do want to possibly extend it, for every like Friday or Saturday. So would I need to do it just for every weekend or just for that day?
Whenever you wanted to provide the late night entertainment, you would have to apply for that. That's a separate.
Okay, it's a separate thing? Okay.
Yes,
Okay. So I wouldn't need to do it for this specific event?
You
you
do.
would.
You do? Okay,
You would.
okay.
And I was just gonna say, you do realize that you have to have it for this event. You
Yeah.
cannot have any entertainment unless you have the extension on the entertainment for the 17th.
So who would I be getting in touch with for this?
You
That
could
would
just
be the,
contact the licensing office and Anna at the office, and you can apply that way.
Okay. And would that be something that I'll be able to get before next Friday?
You would have to have it in order to have late night entertainment. So I would contact Anna tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
now Candy, so you're just looking to have this one particular event, see how it goes, and then decide whether you want to do the 2 a.m.
Yes.
moving forward just for the weekend.
So it would be just it would be just Friday and Saturday in the later future. But like I said,
Okay.
we want to get this event out of the way and just kind of see how it goes.
Right. Something you might want to consider is to just extend until 2 a.m. so that you don't have to continue to come. It doesn't mean that you have to stay open
Okay.
past 11:30, but in the
Okay.
event that you do have something coming up, you don't have to come back and request, an extension for that particular day if it falls during the week.
Okay.
So that's something for you to consider. You don't have to do it, just for you to consider.
Okay. Thank you for that
Okay.
information.
Any questions? Sure.
So-
Any questions for Candy?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. As long as Anna is able to help me get that entertainment license, would I be able then to have the event on the 17th?
So,
Depending on how this vote goes.
right. Right. So, commissioners, anybody has any questions?
No.
No? Okay, then, I'll make a motion to approve the extension of liquor license hours from closing time 11:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. on November 17 for Mesa Cafe, LLC DBA Mesa Buffet, located at 1301 Liberty Street, Candy Cedeno, manager of record, as long as you receive the extension for the entertainment license.
No,
Is there a second?
oh, just for clarification, she can have the license,
Is there
however,
a second?
she couldn't have entertainment.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Are you going to
Andrew,
have the event whether you have entertainment till 2 a.m. or not?
Yeah, well, if I'm able to get if I don't get the entertainment, we are still gonna have the event and just go based on what we have. So just until whatever time our entertainment license is approved to.
and for now, is it approved until 11:30?
Yes,
Okay.
So this is pending your approval of the extension of your entertainment license. If you can't have the extension, then you're going to close at 11:30?
yes.
Oh,
It just,
I guess you
I don't
could-
think it makes any sense to stay
Well,
open past 11:30 if you can't have entertainment.
Yes, yeah.
That's, yeah.
yeah, I guess you
Um,
could make a conditional, you made a conditional a motion, so I guess you could do that. Attorney Paul, you agree?
My thought would, you could still stay open, your entertainment will stop at 11:30, but
Right.
I mean, that's your call as to what you want. I would say that, if the commission votes to allow them, to go to 2 a.m., that's what the commission votes is. If their entertainment, if they decide to close at 11:30 because their entertainment isn't extended, that's on them. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So do you want to amend your motion, just make the extension to 2 without the license, entertainment license part?
yes.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Second,
Okay, Commissioner Kane,
Yes,
Commissioner D'Angelo Singleton, sorry.
yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
and Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes.
Okay.
Good luck, Candy.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to call tomorrow, first thing
I
in the
will,
morning.
first thing. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Third item is a request for seasonal all alcohol package store license extension for Pit Stop Food and Fuel Inc., DBA Pit Stop Food and Fuel, located at 736, 740 Boston Road, Hardig Brewery, manager of record, extension from November 30th to January 15th.
Commissioner Espinoza, before we get started, I did have a conversation with Attorney Fancy. There is a separate item on our agenda, which is an extension from our last meeting, which actually has to do with a discussion for the request on the seasonal license. We tabled that. There was some discussion with regards to that matter. It was my understanding that we probably need to make a decision whether we're going to even do a seasonal extension before addressing the petition that has been put forth by Pit Stop Food and Fuel.
Okay, and I'll open it for discussion with the commissioners.
I see absolutely no reason to grant an extension to a seasonal license when, in my opinion, we don't have a seasonal fluctuation of permanent residents, period. And our population in Springfield certainly does not increase between December 1st and January 15th, when our resident college students go home for winter break. I think this would strain our already strained commission office with keeping track of when licenses expire and when they need to be renewed off the annual schedule, as well as our enforcement from our police department, making sure that whatever licensees have their seasonal alcohol on the shelves when it's supposed to be on the shelves and off the shelves when it's supposed to be off the shelves. So I see no need for extension of seasonal license, package store licenses in Springfield.
Anyone else?
I'm also in agreement. I'm not in favor. A seasonal license is just that, a seasonal license. If you want to beyond that, then pay for the full year like all other establishments. But to me, a seasonal license is just that, a seasonal license, no extensions.
Anybody else?
Commissioner Espinoza, may I speak on, I know this is generally on the topic, if I could.
Sure.
Obviously, I understand that the board is, there's several of you who are against it. I would implore you to understand that this is statutory. While I think the board can disagree with it, the municipalities are given this opportunity because the state wants you to have it. There is an increase during the winter months because there's holiday increases. There are added events that occur. There are numerous other reasons behind it beyond just population increase. There's opportunity in the marketplace. I know that it was just mentioned that when you have a seasonal liquor license, why can't you just get a full-time liquor license? Unfortunately, the city of Springfield does not have those available. What they do have are these seasonal licenses. As I touched on last time, another reason and intention behind the legislature creating these licenses was to open up the marketplace during these seasonal months to satisfy the demand. We submitted a petition with our application. Obviously, when we go back to our own point on our particular application, you will see that there is a need and demand, which is what the ABCC has given the boards to look at, a need, a demand from the community. I think this community would like to see this establishment have that seasonal extension. I think there is a need in this area for it, which is why we do see the customers signing in support. And I understand the board's desire to limit the amount of overhead on this by the department, but I would implore you to reconsider or thoroughly consider this, as it is something that is allowed by the legislature. And I do not know that you can make a moratorium on extensions because it is allowed via statute.
If I could add, and I'm co-counsel with Attorney Fancy for Pit Stop Food and Fuel. I think the question, just to one of the commissioner's comments, we're not, and we can take the application separately, but the question as to a seasonal license is not looking for an extension beyond what's permitted. The statute, to Attorney Fancy's point, permits either a seasonal license through November or through January 15th. And that's, we have been issued one through November, but the question that I believe Attorney Poe is raising is whether this commission will even consider issuing licenses through January under the statute.
So thank you, Attorney Stratton. Thank you, Attorney Fancy. I think that you've represented your client very well here. The statute says we may consider it. It may consider giving the extension. So it's up to the commission to make a determination whether we will do that extension or not. At this point, I mean, I think, you know, it's in the hands of the commission to do what you want to do at this point. I would reiterate the position of the office as been stated by Attorney Days. She believes that this will be a logistical nightmare for the office. It is going to be difficult to keep track of these licenses. And she did not believe that the census increase, which we use to as the basis of the seasonal license, would justify us continuing to issue the extension of the seasonal license at this time. That's the position there with the cities.
Attorney
ahead.
Poe, is it the commission's position that the commission will only consider licenses under the statute issued through November and will not in any case consider the issuance of a license through January 15th?
I don't want to state that as the position. I think the commission has to make a determination with regards to that. I think that they would have to be heard individually, case by case. But the overall position at this point is with regards to this. I don't want to make a blanket statement. I think that we would still consider them individually, but we needed to have a general stance on where we kind of feel with these seasonal licenses at this point.
I do agree with Attorney Poe. I myself personally don't see the need. There is, like we mentioned before, there is a full package store right across the street. There's actually multiple. There's probably maybe 2 other package stores nearby. So I don't see that the argument that is needed in that area is the right argument, and that is me. I don't know, the commissioners, if anybody else has any comments.
I need clarification. Attorney Poe, the commission right now is deciding whether we need to have extensions to seasonal alcohol package store licenses in Springfield, period. Is that correct? And that is going to be our policy going forward?
So I don't know if we want to, I don't think we can make that a blanket policy. We have to consider the applications individually. I think if we make it a blanket policy, that I think we have to consider the applications individually.
Well, the philosophies behind these seasonal alcohol licenses is that there are increases in population at certain points in a year, which require additional licenses. And if we are saying that this particular one doesn't qualify because there is no increase in population in between December 1st and January 15th, how could we possibly justify that for any other license in the city?
Commissioner Singleton, I understand exactly what you're saying. I just think that when we talk about due process here, we have to consider the applications as they come. I don't think we can make a blanket policy.
Okay. I don't understand what the beginning of this whole meeting was about then. So we're deciding on this particular petition, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
If I may, then I was under the same impression as Commissioner Signator, that it was on the general topic of it, because I think we then procedurally would need to have, even though I gave a presentation last week, a hearing where we give our introduction as to why and then close it and then discussion. But correct me if I'm wrong.
I think we wanted to complete the discussion that we had with regards to the seasonal license, and then we can go back to the point of your petition that was filed. So I think at this point, Chair Espinosa, we can consider their petition.
Is there any other comments or suggestions from the rest of the commissioners?
Now, I would just think that we would have to consider what the licensing department has provided information, and that it would be overwhelming for them to encounter this seasonal license. It would put more pressure on the department. I think we do have to really consider that.
Okay.
Put 14 for 20 and extra 50.
Is there a motion?
Are we being heard, Attorney Poe, on our petition at this point? Can we
Yes,
present?
Chair Spinoza, I would ask that we hear item 3 of the new petition.
Okay, the floor is yours. You can present on your request.
I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Attorney Fancy, to present on this petition. I just would address, because this is a new item to us, this position of the licensing commission being overwhelmed. I believe there is a very strict limit on the number of seasonal licenses. I believe there's either 2 or 3 available under the population change. And if it's issued, I don't understand the difference between November 31st and January 15th and how that creates a logistical nightmare for 3 potential licenses. But I just make that as a comment to address that new point, but I'll otherwise turn it over to Attorney Fancy.
Thank you, Attorney Stratton. And that's a fair point to add on, is really this is a license or a seasonal license that's already going to need to be tracked by the commission or the department. So changing the date of which it needs to be renewed is just changing a calendar date. It's the same license. And I know, like you said, there is only a few other available. I did not bring fireworks like I promised last time, so I'll try and make this as painless as possible, because I know we've been talking about this for a while, and I understand the board is frustrated and there are some concerns about this. But like I said, the statute does allow for an extension here. It is a discretion based, but it is discretion based on need. Though there are other liquor stores in the area, you cannot quantify as a general blanket 2 as being enough or 3 as being enough. Need is demonstrated by public desire. Public desire can be demonstrated by the petition we have put forth. We would offer the board to really thoroughly consider the fact that it is going to be a holiday season. Holiday season has been known where alcohol consumption increases. It would be a benefit to the public within the community and the visiting public through the holiday season to have access to additional full liquor license at this premises, which is why we have supported it with the petition. Springfield would not be the only municipality. Numerous other municipalities, such as, in the area, Northampton, Wellfleet, Salisbury, Egerton, Chatham, Gloucester, Hyannis, and several others allow for an extension process. I believe it was Commissioner Signator who spoke last about there being an application and a fee to pay. A lot of those towns all do that process, and I would really implore Springfield to, if they do decide to deny today, to implement that sort of policy, or even today implement a policy, whether it would be conducted by the board today. But it is not a new concept. It is not unheard of. It is something that the state encourages because they have allowed you to extend it, and it is not new to them, but it would be new to Springfield. And I would encourage the board to put that into their consideration. Part of the reason to have these seasonal licenses is for population increase. There is a population increase during the holidays. It is also to promote inclusivity in the marketplace during the season to support that population increase. There are only so many licenses that the city can give out for a full year and a full service. And unfortunately, those are all taken up. It's going to be probably a long time before Springfield has another full liquor license to give out for all alcohol. So this is where that seasonal license comes in to welcome other people into the marketplace. There is a strong public desire here, and I think it would be a huge benefit to this community and to the benefit of Pit Stop's current customers if this were to be extended through the holiday season. And I won't go on anymore, and I'll take any questions if you have any follow-up to that.
Any questions for Attorney Fancy?
Nope.
Any comments? John, and you look like you've been thinking.
That's something new. I'm Attorney Fancy. I'm still perplexed here in how I know it benefits your client. I understand that, but is it fair to the establishment practically across the street from your client. I want to see the fairness to this to them when they paying a full liquor license, and your client will only be paying a partial, and almost by the extension, it's almost getting a full year liquor license, just short of a couple months of a full liquor license. I just don't see the fairness to that request that you put in front of us. I have a problem with that, and it's not fair to them, to the full year-round establishments, to go and see another establishment across the street, down the street, to have almost an 85%, 90% seasonal license compared to their full license that you're requesting. I don't know. Yeah,
I guess. Sorry about that.
That's quite all right, because I'm still perplexed here, because I haven't really been sold on it. I'm having trouble with it, and I know you're doing your job to represent your client, but I still don't see where it's benefiting everyone else. We have to be fair. This board, this commission has to be fair to all the ones that have to be sit in front of us. We have to be fair about it, and I don't see that being fair, of extending a seasonal license, and especially for the lack of a full payment or something like that. I don't see it.
So off of that, it's really not our, we don't get to pick the fee. It's something that's out of our control. That is something that will never change. No applicant, no matter if it is a beer and wine, seasonal, one day, or special event, nobody picks the fee. It is something that is assigned by the municipality. While we're not necessarily disagreeing with you, I would, even say the other municipalities that I mentioned, Wellfleet, Salisbury, Egerton, Chatham, Gloucester, Hyannis, Northampton, those municipalities do have an increased fee. I think that is more than reasonable. The issue is right now, and I would invite the board to impose that type of fee. I'm not saying that we want it on a reduced rate. I'm not saying my client is looking for anything less than fair. What they are looking for is an opportunity in the marketplace to serve the demand that we believe is there. And I think, in fairness, one way to flip what you're saying is, how is it fair to someone who cannot enter the marketplace, who has an established customer base with a full year beer and wine license, to be excluded from that marketplace, to have to lose customers day in and day out because they have no ability to serve them what they are seeking? There's fairness on both sides. When you flip that argument the other way, it's just as easy to say, how is it fair to Pit Stop or the customers who go there and are loyal to that store, which, like I said, that's why we submitted that petition of customers. And I understand there has to be fairness. We're not asking for any sort of impropriety or unfair treatment to be done to my client. What we're asking for is the board to really consider this. And if the board wants to, impose a fee or tell us a procedure we have to do, we are more than happy to follow the rules and tell us what we need to do. But we do think it would be arbitrary and capricious for it to be a rationale that if we're denied because of a fee, we don't get to elect to pay or not pay, or what that fee is. We are just here with the circumstances that are given, which is the legislature allows for the seasonal license to either be till November 30th or be till January 15th. The board can elect what to do with it, but there is a seasonal license on the table, and we're just trying to help our client and his customers be put into the best situation. The analogy I'll give you is, how is it fair to the guy across the street? Well, you ever drive to a McDonald's with a Burger King? People want options. People want to go to the option they want. They want the convenience there. And there's always benefits to the customers when there's competition in the marketplace. The second you start only having one solution to the problem, that starts to be a problem, and they have a monopoly, and you're not getting the best deals for the consumers of Springfield. I really would say we're not asking for anything special here. We're really asking for the fairness that you're talking about. It's just unfortunate for us, and which is why I came last week to discuss having a policy implemented and put in place. I think that would be fair and reasonable to do. And I know you're probably still going to be perplexed by this and what the fairness is, but like you said, I'm here to do my job for my client, and I do think there is a reasonable solution here, and it would be just implementing some sort of policy, like you're saying, of if you want an extension, there's an increased fee to make it reasonable. And that's what you still have to come before the board anytime you want an extension, and you have to demonstrate your need for it. Just as Attorney Poet said, it's a case by case basis, but I'll leave it at that.
Any other questions?
Commissioner Espinoza, I think my client might want to say something. I'm not sure. He keeps putting his finger up. Hash, do you want to say something?
Yes. Does everybody able to hear me?
Yes.
So about the fee, the previous person mentioned, the fee paid by us for full year beer wine license and seasonal license will be more than all alcoholic license person pays for the entire year. I think it is $2,000 for entire year all alcoholic beverage license, but I will be incurring about $2,400 in total between beer wine license for the entire year and seasonal license for say around $900 and $1,500. So I will be paying more fees anyway, $2,400 for the entire year between the two licenses that I have to carry. So I am going to be paying more than, the full liquor license. That's all I wanted to point out.
I think I did see an email that we had received, and I think that's probably a question that maybe for Peter. Do you know anything about the this fee? I didn't.
No. We discussed what the fee should be for a seasonal all alcohol package store license, which is currently at $950 and seems to be a bargain compared to what the annual package store licensees are paying, and to bring it up in line with the monthly cost to an all alcohol package store license. So I broke it down the cost by month and proposed what a seasonal should be and what an extension of that seasonal should be, should we decide to grant one.
Okay. Okay. Any questions from the commission?
We are ready?
Yes. Is
Okay,
there a motion?
I will make a motion to deny this petition for extension of a seasonal all alcohol package store license. If necessary, I will cite a ballot in consideration the number of existing licensees in the area. The area is adequately served by all alcohol package store licenses, and the type of proposed operation is a seasonal package store license, which is justified only because of a change in the population. And I cannot even imagine how we could justify the fact that the population increases in Springfield from December 1st to January 15th. So my recommendation is a denial.
There a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes.
I want to thank the commission for hearing us out today, and just to confirm, will we get I know this is a little bit different. Are we going to get a formal denial, similar to just a regular license denial?
Attorney Paul?
Yes.
Thank you again for having us.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night. Okay.
Right.
Next item on the agenda is a pre-hearing conference for Fuego Sports Bar, and we did receive a letter from an email from Attorney Allen requesting a continuance.
Did everyone see that email?
Yep.
So the extension was, I just want I just want a continuance. The request was, I just want a continuance with no reason.
I
and
did,
no-
I did, Commissioner Signature, I did have a conversation with Attorney Allen. We did agree to a date. His reason, before I talk about the date we had asked to go to, is he's traveling today and he was unable to make the meeting. I was told to get a date certain from him. He said he's asked to continue this to December 13th, which is our next Wednesday meeting. I know we have a meeting on the 30th.
He's going to be traveling for a month.
No, he's not traveling for a month, but that's our next Wednesday meeting. I mean, we have a meeting on the 30th.
On the 30th.
Why can't it be the 30th?
Well, I thought we have our normal agenda with our license renewals on that day, and he was asking that it be on a Wednesday, which is our next Wednesday meeting is the 13th of December.
Oh, it has to be on a Wednesday.
That's when we normally meet.
Oh, we've heard other things. Just historically, we've heard other things other than the renewals on renewal night. So it is a regular license commission meeting. We just happen to, at the end of the meeting, vote on the renewals. So, but it's not on a Wednesday. So apparently that's not fitting into Attorney Allen's schedule.
I think it's up to the commission whether, should we continue to December 13th, or given the history, should we just add him to the agenda on November 30th? Just keep him in mind that, we are, we have, like Attorney Poe said, we have other items on the agenda. But I myself don't see, a reason for the December 13th. I think November 30th should be enough time.
I agree.
Anybody else?
I don't have a problem.
Nope, same here. I think the 30th is fine.
Okay. Then I make a motion to continue the Fuego Sports Bar LLC DBA Fuego Sports Bar located at 885 Carew Street. Angie Guzman, manager of record, incident of September 16, 2023, allowing the use of smoking material without required smoking bar permit, pre-hearing conference to November 30th.
Second.
That's 2023. Okay, Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Commissioner D'Antonio?
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. So we will continue that. Next item is another pre-hearing conference for 60 GEO High LLC DBA Merrill Superette located at 62 High Street. Riswan Raftin, manager of record, incident of December 6, 2022, March 8th, 2023, October 14 and 15, 2023, receiving stolen property. I don't see anybody here.
Oh.
No.
No.
Do we want to continue?
Attorney Poe, there's nobody like in the waiting room or anything like that.
No one is in the waiting room, and I have not heard had any contact from anyone from 60 GO High LLC with regards to this notice that was sent out on October 26th of this date.
Okay. How does the commission feel about November 30th?
For another pre-hearing, or are we going to final? Do we give them the benefit of the doubt?
Maybe another pre-hearing. This will be their first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we, Attorney Poe, do you send them another notice saying you missed this one? You're on. How did that?
We will have them. They were served, right, Barry?
Oh.
They were served with this notice.
I wouldn't know that. Your office knows that. You guys mail them. I believe that's the only way it goes out is mail, and I mean, I don't know where they mail it to.
All right, we sent it to the address 62 High Street, which is the location of the Merrill Superette. I would suggest we'll notice we'll give them another opportunity to appear at the November 30th meeting.
Okay.
We'll send another notice out.
Okay. I make a motion to continue the 60 GO High LLC DBA Merrill Superette located at 62 High Street, Rosanne Ruffin, manager record incident of December 6, 2022, March 8th, 2023, October 14 and 15, 2023, receiving stolen property to November 30th.
Second?
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio?
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay. New business discussion regarding request for seasonal license extension.
I think we went through that already. So,
You sure we don't want to revisit that again?
not now.
Do we want to discuss or put on our another next agenda, maybe increase in the fee for the seasonal license? So it at least matches, what an annual licensee is paying. Right now, he's paying $950 for the April 1st to November 30th, and that's less than what an annual package store holder is paying. I don't know where $950 even came from. I don't recall ever voting on that. Did we vote on that?
I don't remember either.
I think what he was trying to say is he has to pay for both. He has to pay for his beer and wine annual license and for the seasonal license. So I think what he was trying to say is when you put those together, he's actually paying more than an annual full alcohol package store license. I think that's the point he was trying to get across. As far as where the rates come from, I remember something about, it was probably a year or two ago with that brewery in the Orchard, and it was a new license that we issued to them, and we came up with a price, and then attorney days later told the board that you guys couldn't establish the prices, that the city council did that.
Right.
So I think there was a lot of time spent on like the discussion over the prices, but I don't think that's something that this board can resolve. I think that has to be established by the city council. And that's probably where the $950 came from. And I think what that business owner was trying to say is he doesn't pay just $950. He also has to pay his annual beer and wine license as well, because he has that for the full year.
I tried to check that while we were here, but my computer crashed, so I could not verify what he was actually saying with the two licenses. But I will look into it because I didn't know how he reached that number, or what his two licenses. But my computer crashed on that one, so I couldn't.
Does he have another establishment that he has a full license? Is that what he's trying to say?
No.
No,
he has at this gas station, he has an annual beer and wine package store license and a seasonal all alcohol package store license. So he sells beer and wine all year long. So it's just the hard liquor that he can sell from April 1st to November 30th. And he's paying $950 for that.
I have a question. If we granted seasonal license, is there a limit to the number?
I believe it's 2 right now.
No, not now. Not now that exists. Moving forward, would there be a limit to the number of seasonal license? Because
the answer to that is yes. There's a limit on the number that we can give out. So the answer to that is yes.
But I was just trying to figure out how the licensing department would be inundated with, so many licensees applying.
Right, I think it opens the door for anyone to come
Oh, yes.
and then say, hey, I want to apply for a seasonal license.
Yeah, but
It's a
he said,
loophole.
but he's saying that there would be a number, a limit to that.
Right.
Right, it's not going to be unlimited.
Okay. So that's where the extra work would come in the licensing department.
Correct.
Okay.
So, on this particular discussion, are we done with it, or do we want Attorney Cole to look into anything else and come back to it, or we just?
Well, I'd like to know where the $950 fee came from, and can we, the proposal, I'm trying to remember when we changed our license fees, and I have this little old piece of paper that's been sprayed by City Hall with their disinfectant a million times, and it's all curled up. 2005 is when we last increased our fees, and I'm trying to remember what the procedure. I think we polled nearby municipalities as well as municipalities of the same size as Springfield were larger. I think we polled Boston, Worcester, New Bedford to see what they were charging, and then Northampton, West Springfield, and we came up with these figures. And I don't remember the part of us having to get approval from the city council, but that would probably make sense because we could go wild with this, right? So I think the proposal to the city council comes from the commission. We're proposing a fee of this for a seasonal all alcohol package store license, and then city council would have to approve that. But the discussion begins with us.
I will look into that.
Okay. Thank you.
Did I make a motion that we continue the discussion regarding the request for seasonal license, or?
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio?
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. We now have the Section 77 final hearing. The first one is Aquarius located at 1217 State Street. Freddie Venegas, manager of record, status of license. I did speak to Freddie earlier today, and he also emailed Anna at the license office and did mention that he's just going to let the license expire come November. Did everyone get to see the email?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay, the second one is the hookah factory located at 296 Cooley Street, Osada, one manager of record, status of license. And again, he's not here.
Well, with regards to this, we did get an email from Attorney Kelly, Dan Kelly, on this one. He's asking that we continue this to November 30th. He said that Mr. Awam had a death in the family, was unable to make the meeting tonight.
Okay. Did I make a motion to continue the hookah factory final hearing, Section 77 final hearing to November 30th?
Second.
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio?
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes.
Should we put some final decision here on Aquarius? I mean, he's indicated that he has no intention of renewing. He has no place to move the license. I think we should just cancel it right now, lest he come in at the last minute with a renewal, and then we're chasing him for another 6 months as to where you're going to relocate. Is that fair?
Fine with me. I mean, if that is something that we, that we can do. Attorney Poe, is that?
Well, I mean, like I said, we have to make a decision as to whether we just let it expire or we take action. It's the commission's Well, at this point, I would say, canceling it at this point. I mean, he's had numerous opportunities to be here as well. So it probably does require action on the commission at this point. He's had an opportunity to appear. And what we received was the email and the conversations he's had with the chair.
Okay. So Peter, is that a motion you're making?
I make a motion to cancel the license for Aquarius located at 1217 State Street under Section 77 of Chapter 138. Do I hear a second?
Second,
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelatonia?
yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay, an administrative review of incident reports. We have Panache Banquet Hall incident of October 18th, 2023. Did everyone have an opportunity to read the report?
Yes.
Okay. So there was a shooting or someone who was driving by. There were, shots fired. So, but a call was made from within Panache to report the shooting. Am I right, Barry, and also the shot spotters?
Correct. So they got the shot spotter and then a female called from inside. She was not an employee, but she indicated the employees were aware that she made the call. The bouncer there immediately locked the door. Just in the event that anything would spill inside, and she called the police.
Okay.
And the manager of record was on site.
Peter Brantley.
Yes.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. I make a motion to take no action.
Second.
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelatonia?
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Next one is Shadow Lounge incident of October 23rd, 2023. Did everyone have an opportunity to read this
Yes.
report? Yes. So there was an incident, and Barry, you want to talk to us a little bit about this incident?
It started as a domestic incident inside. There was a female present. A male showed up. Apparently there's a restraining order. Instead of approaching the staff and telling them, the female followed the male. When he got there, he went directly to the bathroom. The female followed him in there. Some sort of altercation started. They're escorted outside by the bouncers who flagged down a passing cruiser. And in that interaction, while they're confirming the restraining order and speaking with these parties, they realize the female gives a date of birth, but is lying about her date of birth. She gives a year to make her 21 when she's actually 20. The female is actually, the male recorded an assault. So the female was actually arrested for the assault. And speaking to the male after, he told the manager, Carlos, that, this is his girlfriend of 6 years, they have a kid, and he says she always uses her sister's ID. Carlos tells me his bouncer is adamant she showed an ID. She tells the officer she did not show an ID, or they come to that conclusion. However, the bouncer's adamant she showed an ID. The male involved says she always does this. She uses either her sister's ID or her mother's friend's ID. I called the male, the victim that was involved, and he confirmed that the sister and her are, I believe the sister's 2 or 3 years older, but they're licensed pitchers. They share a lot of similarities, including height. And obviously there was there was another male with this female when she showed up, but no one ever spoke to him, and he left when all this broke out. So there's really no independent, I don't want to say independent, witnesses, whether she used an ID, didn't use an ID, but she was in there. I guess my other issue is, I guess, service. I don't know if we could prove the service of alcohol to her. So I didn't recommend any violations. Carlos made it pretty clear his policy there is no one gets in without an ID. If they even appear to be young, and that all his staff know that, and that if that happens, they have to go to him and he makes that decision. And like he said, the only way he would ever do that is if it's someone that he recognized from being there before that just forgot their ID. I mean, I don't know if that explains it. If you have any questions, you know, they flagged the cruiser down. The girl's in there. There's no doubt she's in there. It's just a matter of how she got in there. And I think this male, her boyfriend of 6 years, he told me the same thing when I talked to him, that she would use not only her sister's ID, but her mother has a friend that apparently looks like her as well. And she uses that person's ID as well to get into clubs.
So is there any kind of a charge brought against her for falsely presenting a false ID in order to get, I mean.
And again, I think because the officers didn't find an ID on her, and she denied showing an ID. She says that she just gave her date of birth, and you know, she's smart enough, so she subtracted a year and she made herself 21. They're saying that didn't happen, that she showed an ID, and her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, whatever the case is, kind of supports that in his, you know, he's saying that, you know, dating her for 6 years, that she's done this before, not just with her sister's ID, but also her mother's friend.
Barry, did you say she was arrested?
She was, because he videotaped the incident in the bathroom. And when the officers viewed that, obviously there was reason they determined she was the aggressor. You know, I think had she just advised the staff, hey, I have a restraining order against this guy, and he just walked in, you know, the staff would have told him, hey, you have to leave, and that would have been the end of it. But she didn't do that. She went into the bathroom, and whatever happened, he recorded, and, you know, based on that video, she was placed under arrest.
So, and you're saying that she did not have an ID on her person when she was arrested? Because I'm assuming you have to turn over all your IDs or belongings.
Yeah, again, unless it was in a purse or wallet. I mean, they don't list every specific. I mean, if you walked in there with a wallet with an ID and credit cards, each one's not listed. It might just say wallet contents. You know, obviously cash, stuff of value is documented, but I did check her property, and there was no ID listed. She also showed up with another guy who took off the minute it started. So again, whether she showed one or not, I mean, I don't know how at this point we prove, and not again, I believe their security plan didn't specifically mention allowing people under 21. It did say they check IDs at the door. I mean, at this point, I just don't think there's enough to prove that they did not check her ID. There's no witness. There's no one saying that the male who's involved, who clearly has no reason to defend her. I mean, they obviously have a history. He admits that she uses someone else's ID, which is consistent with what Carlos is saying. And there, you know, it's also, you know, even if she just provided a date of birth and got in, I mean, I don't know, we could never prove service of alcohol, which in essence you would have to do.
Okay. Well, thank you, Barry. Any questions? Comments?
I don't think we have enough to proceed. I think I make a motion that we take no action because there's not enough there to really justify or verify if a ID was given, if a ID, she could have dropped the ID during the altercation or something like that. The bouncer's adamant that she did show an ID. They did flag down the police officer as the situation. So I myself personally feel I don't think no action. I'll be glad to put a motion for no action taken.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that is.
if
that
she
is the
did
motion.
if she did present an ID and it was a valid ID, she just took her sister's ID and she's the same height and weight and looks like her slightly older sister, how is the bouncer supposed to know that that's not really the person? And if they follow the tips training, ABCC recommended steps, and I'm not saying they did or didn't, you know, with the black light and you look at the ID and you see the hologram and all of that, and it's a genuine ID. It's just not that person's ID, but the picture looks like that person. What more can they do? I don't know. So, I mean, I agree with Johnny that they probably did what they were supposed to do and she got in anyway.
Okay. Is there a second to John's
Second.
motion? Okay. Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay, I think that is it.
I thought we were going to hear Delicious on a Section 77 tonight. Did something happen there? Would we just not put it on, or?
Do you know anything about that, Attorney Paul?
I know I had sent out a notification. It might have gone out late, so it'll probably be on there 11:30.
Can you make sure that it is, because they're tying up this woman's premises now. And if they renew, we have to allow the renewal, and they could tie her up for another 6 months over there, and that's really not fair.
Understood. I think it will be on the next agenda.
Great.
The question is with 60 Geo High LLC.
Yeah.
The pre-hearing conference is going to November 30th as well, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Sounds good.
Great.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and then I make a motion to adjourn at 6:43 p.m. There a second?
Second. Happy
Commissioner
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes. Yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Thank you, Peter. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Bye-bye.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy
Bye,
Thanksgiving.
everyone.
Bye.
All right, bye, everyone.